All right, good morning and welcome to CAD4ALL's live virtual open day. Now, today we were actually hoping to be meeting you guys physically in person again. Today's event was actually meant to be held at our Claremont campus in the southern suburbs of Cape Town. But unfortunately, due to the recent spike in infections in COVID-19 in the southern suburbs, we were unable to host you physically. So we decided, well, the show must go on. We've been doing live virtual open days for the past few months. It's been a very great success. So let's switch things up a bit with a different setting, and let's give you guys a nice intimate little open day here live on YouTube. So welcome to this event with us. Now, if you've joined us before, you might see a few different things today. If you haven't joined us before, welcome. My name is Ryan Woodward. I'm the Operations Manager of CAD4ALL, and I will be guiding you through this event today. So just a few little matters. If you see me peering off to my right, don't worry. I'm just checking that you can still see everything that's happening. I've got a screen to my right that just shows me that everything's going strong. And if you see me peering off to the left in front of me, I'm just switching controls so that you can see my PowerPoint or you can see me, or when I switch between some of my colleagues and myself. So let's just take a look at a few of the things that we are going to be covering today. If you just give me a second. So a few of the things that we are going to be covering today, we are going to be taking a look at who is CAD4ALL, our story. We're going to take a look at accreditations and future plans. I'm going to give you an introduction to some of our qualifications, a few exciting things in the pipeline. Then you're going to hear a few things from our lecturers. I'm going to give you a few reasons of why you should choose CAD4ALL. We'll go over fees and enrollment, and then we'll also do some Q&A. Now remember, this is an interactive virtual open day. So if you have any questions, feel free to send them in the chat box on YouTube, and we'll monitor them and we can get to them. Otherwise, we'll just answer a few general questions. All right, so let's get started. Our story of CAD4ALL. Now, CAD4ALL actually started way back when in the 1990s as an architectural firm named JBH Architecture. Now, JBH Architecture realized that there was a need in the industry for people to be trained in architectural software. So we started training people in the software, and we also started reselling the software. Then with that, in 2006, CAD4ALL Design Training and Software CC was launched. And then in 2008, we obtained our first accreditation with the Construction Education and Training Authority. In 2014, our first group of graduates was trained at CAD4ALL. And by the end of 2015, there were 400 graduates and growing throughout South Africa. Then in 2016, a very big thing happened. We moved to a new location, and we also underwent a rebrand. In 2018, we had a wonderful gala event celebrating 10 years of excellence for CAD4ALL. And here we are today in 2020. Amidst the worldwide pandemic, we've just undergone a rebrand, which I'll tell you a bit more about in a second. We're also launching new qualifications, and we're opening up new campuses. Now, a very important thing for everybody is obviously accreditations and future plans for CAD4ALL. Excuse me. Now, very importantly, the first one you'll see on your screen there is SAQA. Now, it's important to remember that no institution can be accredited with SAQA, as SAQA is the South African Qualification Authority. They are the people who govern all of the qualifications. So all the qualifications trained at CAD4ALL are aligned according to the SAQA guidelines. The next one you'll see there, as I mentioned, is CETA, the Construction Education and Training Authority. At the moment, they are our primary accreditation body. The next one there, MICT CETA, that is for our information, communication, technology, and design subjects, and then FITA, Flora, flooring, and construction. Now, in the next line, some exciting ones, the Department of Higher Education, very important. CAD4ALL is registered with the Department of Higher Education as a private institution in South Africa. And one of the most exciting ones is the Council on Higher Education. Now, this is the body which allows CAD4ALL to migrate to offer Nqf 7 advanced diplomas. But you'll hear a bit more about that in a few minutes. And then the QCTO is just the body that governs all of the CETAs. In the last line there, you'll see Certiport. Now, CAD4ALL is an authorized testing center for Certiport, which means you can come and write an international exam in any of the Autodesk, Microsoft, Adobe softwares, and you can be internationally recognized in that software. Then CAD4ALL is also an Autodesk partner, as well as we have our own CAD software named 4MCAD and 4MBIM, or 4MIDEA, which is developed in Greece. Now let's take a look at building futures. So I'm just going to give you a brief overview of some of the qualifications on offer at CAD4ALL, and then I'm going to hand over to one of my colleagues who is just briefly going to introduce you to two of the featured qualifications for this open day. Now, with all of our open days going forth, if we do have virtual ones again, we'll be featuring different qualifications. So today you're going to hear about just 2 of them. Now, the qualifications currently on offer at CAD4ALL. Firstly, you'll see architectural CAD drafting, and that is what we call CAD1. So that is kind of your fundamental year where you enter at CAD4ALL. If you have maths literacy, you go from matric into there. If you have pure maths, you can still start at CAD1, but you have an option to go straight into our architectural technology qualification, if that is what you should be interested in. The next one you'll see there's multidisciplinary drafting at CAD. That one's a bit more of a broader spectrum. You don't just focus on architectural drafting, but you focus on HVAC, on piping, on mechanical, on electrical, and of various different disciplines. Then you'll see our architectural technology, national certificate and diploma. Now, those are an exit level outcome, so you can do your national certificate in architectural technology or your national diploma. And then very excitingly, as I mentioned, the new Nqf 7 advanced diploma in architectural technology, which is launched at CAD4ALL very soon. But I'm not going to focus on that right now because one of my colleagues will be telling you a bit more about that shortly. That is a qualification that is currently with the Council on Higher Education. And as you have seen from our blast, very importantly, CAD4ALL is getting endorsement from SACUP for this qualification. Then you also see interior architecture is at the bottom there, interior architecture and decor, project management, construction, as well as structural steel design. But for now, I'm quickly going to hand over to one of my colleagues, Alexandre Liu. She's going to tell you a bit more about 2 of our featured qualifications. So just give me a second. Let me quickly hand over to her.
Good day, I'm Alexandre Liu and welcome to Architectural Drafting, also known as CAD1. This qualification will teach you how to operate various CAD applications and focuses on architectural drawings. Entrance requirements are Matric Certificate, Mathematical Literacy and English Communications. Your career opportunities are Architectural Drafting, CAD 2D Designer, CAD 3D Designer, and then General Draftsperson. Your advanced opportunities when complete CAD 1, you will go on to CAD 2, which is known as Multi-Disciplinary Drafting, or you have an option of going to Architectural Technology National Certificate. Welcome to Multidisciplinary Drafting, also known as CAD2. This qualification is well suited for those interested in various sectors of the architecture, engineering, and construction industry. Our entrance requirements are CAD1, which is Architectural Drafting. Your career opportunities is CAD Technician, Drafting relating to mining, Mechanical Engineering, Property Surveying, Naval Architectural and Shipping Building, and an Automotive Engineering Designer. Your advanced opportunities after CAD 2 is Architectural Technology National Certificate. Thank you for joining us on this virtual open day.
All right, thank you very much for that, Alzan. So there you saw 2 of our featured qualifications, namely CAD1 Architectural Drafting, as well as CAD2 Multidisciplinary Drafting. Now let's take a look at a few exciting things in the pipeline for CAD4ALL. Now, obviously, this has been a very challenging year for everybody, but amidst all of the craziness that's been going on, CAD4ALL has still been able to make amazing strides in the industry. One of the first and most important things that has actually happened very recently is CAD4ALL has undergone a name change. So we are no longer known as CAD4ALL Korean Design College. From now on, we will be known as CAD4ALL Institute of Applied Architecture. This name just fits our whole envisionary for what's going forth a lot better. And it's kind of like our blast said, out with the old, in with the new. It's time for a new, it's time for new challenges. It's time for a new path. We're going into much more advanced pathways. So let's change things up a bit. And yes, very excitingly, as you can see, it is a total rebrand. At the moment, you'll still see some of our physical things are still showing Korean Design College. Obviously, it's a very big and momentous task to change the brand of a company. but everywhere digitally you will see that CAD4ALL is now Institute of Applied Architecture, but there are still a few things you'll see that says Korean Design College, but within the next few weeks that will all be changed over. Now, very, very excitingly, we are also opening up and moving to new locations. So as I mentioned, today was actually supposed to be held at our Claremont campus in Cape Town in the southern suburbs. Now that campus is opening up in 2021, very much dependent on numbers, but at the moment you guys are doing very well. We will be able to run our first class come 2021 in Claremont. Very excitingly, opening now soon is our Tiger Valley campus. So we used to be based in Belleville Mall, but now we are moving to the Tiger Valley area, very much close to the N1, centrally located, a safe environment, a new hip campus for our students, a nice split between, we'll have a corporate office, we'll have a campus for the students. We're going to be very much in a studio environment with your different lecturing classes. So we're very excited to give you guys a tour of that soon. We're going to do some nice footage of that very soon as we have access into that building as well. And then opening up in 2022, sorry, that is a mistake on the screen there. Just pardon that. It is 2022 that our Midrand campus will be opening up as well. Then you can see I'm sporting some CAD4ALL apparel over here. Obviously, as I said, this one now still says Korean Design College. We are waiting for the new samples to arrive for the Institute of Applied Architecture. But we've been working on some very nice designs for you guys so that you can sport your CAD4ALL brand. There'll be hoodies, there'll be crop top, or not crop top, sorry, there'll be jackets, there'll be t-shirts. We're looking at a possibility of a baseball jacket, but there'll be tracksuit pants. Obviously, with COVID, we've got our little CAD4ALL masks as well. The new ones as well with Institute of Applied Architecture will be arriving soon. So that is some very exciting things that our design team has been working on throughout this period as well. Then obviously, as I said, it's been challenging for everybody, but a very important thing that happened for CAD4ALL, 2 weeks within the lockdown being implemented in South Africa, all of our full-time students had transitioned onto our online learning platform, which is the CAD4ALL Online Learner Management System. So that is basically our online university where all of the learning takes place, which also means that you can study with CAD4ALL anywhere in South Africa and actually anywhere throughout the world. So you can be traveling for work and you can still be studying a qualification or a short course or a little part-time course with CAD4ALL, all through our online learner management system. So as I mentioned, all of our students that are studying full-time this year were actually transitioned onto this, and it's been a seamless transition for them and everything's been going smoothly there. Obviously, it's a big transition for them, but everything ran off quite well over there. All right, so that's just a few of the exciting things that's been happening. Right now, I'm going to hand over to a few of our lecturers. They're going to give you a few words from their side as well, tell you a bit about some awards and accolades at CAD4ALL, as well as some endorsements and all of those things that's been happening. So let's take a look at that.
Hi, my name is Akil and I'm an architectural lecturer, architectural designer and architectural author. Today, I'm going to applications. So I'm going to be taking you through the scale. So the scale has a right and a left component, and I'm going to talk to you about all the way from when you finish matric to when you finish a degree or a diploma, and then moving on to postgraduate studies. So that's the first bit of information you need to know. And then afterwards, I'm going to talk to you about Nqf levels and how that corresponds on that scale. And thereafter, I'll talk to you about what CAD4ALL has to offer regarding this qualification. So what you'll see here is the Nqf levels. You see the progression of an architect, and you'll be able to see what CAD4ALL has to offer on that particular band. So as you can see on the screen in front of you, there is a scale of Nqf levels all the way from 1 to 10. We are going to focus on the left-hand side of the scale for now so that you can see the general progression. At Nqf level 4, which is a matric level, which a student who has just finished matric would be at, needs to progress through to 5, 6, 7, and that's the cutoff point, which is generally the standard which CAD4ALL would be at, Nqf level 7. So we are looking at a higher certificate as an exit level. We are looking at a diploma or an advanced certificate at Nqf level 6 and a bachelor's degree or advanced diploma at Nqf level 7. And that's where we'll be terminating on our framework. If you look through to the next slide, you'll see that we have an architectural career path. This is a conventional architectural career path, and this shows you through a university. At a university where you get a degree, this shows you the different levels at which you can expect to go through to get a degree in architecture. You can see it mentions high school, going through to undergraduate, which would take 3 years, and then postgraduate, which would take you 2 years. Eventually, 1 to 2 years, which is after all of your studies in becoming a professionally qualified architect, which would see you through the professional practice exams. Only then would you be considered an architect. This is something important to note, because if you move on to the next slide, you see that some institutes don't offer you this pathway. If you go to a University of Technology, often the case is that you would only end off at being a senior architectural technologist and not a professional architect. This is changing, and a number of institutes are moving away from this, where your postgraduate studies at a technikon allows you to become an architect. If you look at the at the highest corner, the top right corner, you see that it's institute dependent whether you will become a senior architectural technologist or an architect. So if you look at this progression, this is the progression that CAD4ALL is intending to follow, where you are at Nqf level 4, that's high school, matric, moving on to undergraduate studies, which should be 3 years of a diploma and 1 year advanced diploma, which is the new name for a BTech. And then you could move on to another institute, which would give you the Nqf level 8 and 9 and 10, so that you could become a postgraduate student who can register as an architect or a senior architectural technologist. So I hope that clarified some of the questions and maybe some of the confusion you've had with Nqf levels and qualifications. Now I'm just going to add a little bit more information there. SACAP, the South African Council for the Architecture Profession, has endorsed the first phase of our advanced diploma in architectural technology. This means technically that once this qualification goes through and has been approved, students can register with SACAP under the respective designations. This is quite an achievement for us, and we're looking forward to having a SACAP endorsed and a SACAP accredited qualification at our institution. So thank you for joining me on this open day, and I hope you have a great day further.
Good day and welcome to our open day. My name is Marga and I'm one of the lecturers at CAD4ALL. As part of our National Diploma program, our National Diploma students enter prestigious architectural and interior design competitions, one of which is the PG Bison 1.618 Education Initiative. We are happy to announce that not only did we achieve top 10 in 2019, but we also managed to secure a top 10 finalist this year. The PG Bison 1.618 Education Initiative is a highly sought-after competition garnering hundreds of entries from design and architectural institutions from across the country. We are privileged to have been able to enter this competition and have our students' work seen and judged by some of the leading experts in interior design and architecture in South Africa. Also worth mentioning is the fact that in both 2019 and this year, we were the only architectural institution to represent the Western Cape. CAD4ALL only received full accreditation for our qualifications in 2014, thus making us adolescent in industry in comparison with our established competitors, which proves that it's not about the length of existence, but the depth of our passion. Last year, we were invited to attend the award ceremony, and it was encouraging to not only see our top 10 finalists, but also find out that our other entries all made top 20. The competition has become well known for creating job opportunities for the winners and finalists, as industry professionals recognize the competition as the ideal opportunity to headhunt young design talent. We look forward to attending the virtual event later this year. We are immensely honored to receive this massive recognition.
Hi, I'm Gary Walbrich. I'm Project Manager and Admissions Advisor at the CAD4ALL Institute of Applied Architecture. Myself and Benny van Heerden are the two people that you will come into contact first and foremost if you want to study at the CAD4ALL Institute of Applied Architecture. As COVID-19 currently becomes a part of our daily lives, we at CAD4ALL are proud to announce that we are able to re-enter to our campuses. We have now established our campus in Tiger Valley, and I'm proud to announce that the campus will be ready for the 2021 academic year. Further to this, and even more so exciting, is that we are able to open up a campus in Claremont for the start of the 2021 academic year. This is all exciting. Please keep your eyes open on social media for announcements to be made shortly. A further exciting opportunity is taking place right now within CAD4ALL, and that is our work readiness program. Our work readiness program entitles you as a student to basically do the office administration's course. The reason why we offer this course is to familiarize yourself with what happens within an office space. As a student coming out of college, going direct into a workspace, that is always challenging, and we at CAD4ALL are now preparing you for that. Once you've completed this course, at this point in time, CAD4ALL will assist you in finding work. Thank you for joining me on this virtual open day.
All right, thank you very much, Gary, Marga, and Akil, for giving us that little brief overview there of our endorsements, some of our accreditations, as well as the awards and accolades, and then our workplace and stuff, or workplace and progressiveness as well. Now, a few other things that we just want to bring to your attention is some reasons why we think that CAD4ALL should be a choice or a standout choice for you. Now, obviously, it would have been much better to hear this from the students themselves. We had planned on having quite a few students at the open day today to give you some information and to give you their view on CAD4ALL. But as we were very much not rushed, but it was quite a quick decision to change this event back to a virtual event due to what's happening, as I mentioned. So I'm just going to give you 5 reasons why you should choose CAD4ALL as your tertiary institution of choice. Now, I just need to lean in here a bit, sorry, because it's a very new graphic. So one of the reasons, obviously, is we are conveniently located. So as I mentioned, we have a campus in Tyger Valley in the northern suburbs of Cape Town, but we are also opening up, as I mentioned, the one in the southern suburbs of Cape Town, and then Midrand coming in 2022. Now, very importantly, these are not only conveniently located, but they are also very safe. And that is why it has also taken us a bit longer with our new campus in Tyger Valley, as safety is a very, very important feature for us. We need to make sure that when our students are at campus during the day, that they are safe. So we can't just take any location. Safety is a very, very important feature for us, not only when you are in class, but also when you are traveling, because many people travel with public transport, and also people have to park their cars in a safe environment. So we needed somewhere where it was safe for students to park and then walk to the campus as well. So obviously you can't have them park too far away or in a different environment and have to cross busy roads, those kinds of things. So conveniently and safely located is a very, very important thing for us. Then there are numerous progression opportunities, as you've seen with our featured qualifications, as well as from our lectures. You can start at one qualification and you can progress to many different choices. So we cater very much to a niche market, to the architectural, engineering, and construction industries. But within that, the pathways are very much progressive. So you can start at CAD1. From CAD1, you can move to CAD2. From CAD2, you can move to architectural technology, or you can start at CAD1 and go straight to architectural technology or go to construction. So it's up to you how long also you want to study with CAD4ALL, because that's a nice thing with our exit level outcome qualifications, that you can actually study for 1 year, go and work a bit, come back and enter the qualification. Or obviously, you can go straight into the full diploma course, which would be a longer course then. Then obviously, we have various and flexible study methods. So as I mentioned, we are full-time with our students physically in class every day. Then we also have part-time qualifications and courses for people right across South Africa, where you can study via distance. And then most importantly as well, we have the online learning opportunity. Then competitive tuition fees. We are still one of the most feasible private institutions in South Africa. So we come in quite a lot under some of the other institutions. Obviously, we're not going to mention names, but it is an important thing to also factor in when you are making your decision. But we'll get a bit into fees coming soon. And then obviously knowledgeable full-time lecturers. Now, this is very important. Every staff member employed at CAD4ALL is full-time employed, and they are industry experts. So it's not like your child is being lectured by someone for 4 hours during the day and then that person goes and works somewhere else. All of the lecturers that stand in front of the class at CAD4ALL are full-time employed and they are industry experts. So whether it be an architect or an interior designer or a construction manager, everybody that stands and lectures at CAD4ALL is actually an industry expert in their field. So those are just 5 reasons why we think you should consider CAD4ALL. Obviously, there are many, many more. If you take a look at our prospectus, which is also available on our website, or you can email our enrollment team, there are quite a few other reasons. So we've given you quite a few reasons inside this document or this little booklet as well. Important things which we feel should be highlighted to you when making your choice of tertiary institution. Then obviously for the parents, a very big question is our fees and enrollment. So let's take a look at that quickly. So you'll see in front of you two different price lists. Now that is the prices for our Claremont campus as well as our Tiger Valley campus. There is obviously one for our online studies as well. Now, very important to note that we have various payment methods available. You can either do a once-off payment. If you do once-off payments in December of the year preceding, so by the 22nd of December, if you'd like to pay your full tuition for next year, you are offered a discount. You can inquire about that with our registration or our financial department. Then there are also options to pay off in installments either over 6 months, 9 months, or 11 months. Or you can also apply for funding through Study Loans for You or Fundi. We will be able to guide you through that process. Now, with all of our qualifications, there is a 1,000 Rand registration fee. So once you've registered online, and I'll show you how to do that now, you pay your 1,000 Rand, we receive your application, we go through the documentation, and then we advise you whether we can go forth with the enrollment process. But obviously, we first have to see, do you meet the entrance requirements? Do we need to maybe advise you to a different qualification? Do you maybe need to do a pre-assessment, that kind of thing? Once the enrollment is started, there's a 4,000 Rand enrollment fee, and that basically secures your seat at CAD4ALL. Now, something very important that you need to highlight in your diary is if you are planning on enrolling at CAD4ALL, the 31st of October is our enrollment deadline. So please, guys, seats are filling fast. You need to enroll if you want to study with CAD4ALL. Obviously, we do still take enrollments after the 31st of October, but then things do change because it is now seen as a late enrollment. So from the 31st of October till the 1st of December, there is a new fee structure that is in place. So if you enroll after the 31st of October, our enrollment fee then becomes 5,000 Rand. And then once November is done, there is again a different fee increase for the month of December, going up until when studies start next year. So please, guys, make sure that you enroll before the 31st of October to avoid those penalties. And if you'd like more information on that, you can contact our admissions advisors and they will give you information on that. Now, as I mentioned, the enrollment or the registration for CAD4ALL takes place online. So we have an online registration portal. The link is available on our website. If you go to our website at the top right corner, there is a register button. If you click on that, it will take you to a page where you will be linked to our registration portal. So on there, you'll choose the qualification and the academic year. So if you're applying for 2021, you'll choose the academic year 2021, and then you will choose your qualification. You'll fill in all of your details. You'll fill in your parents' details, your guardian, the person who's responsible for the fees, and then you will submit your ID and your latest matric results, as well as just an ID photo. Now, very importantly, please, guys, we know that this is a challenging year. We know the matrics are currently busy with their final exams. We wish you guys all of the best. Just keep faith, keep going strong. You guys are nearly there. But a lot of people have been asking us, obviously, because you need to submit your matric results, please submit us the latest copy that you have, and we will advise you going further, whether it is provisional acceptance or whether we can accept you based on the marks that you have now. Obviously, it is very important for us to see your final matric results, but it depends on which qualification you are enrolling for. If you are enrolling for CAD1 or architectural technology, there's a different process that needs to be followed because it's a different Nqf level qualification. So we know the matric results are coming out quite late next year, but please, guys, just make sure that you submit the latest copy and our admissions advisors and registration team will advise you further. So that is the fees and enrollment. I've actually been monitoring the chat. I see that there aren't any questions that have been coming in. This is the point where we would usually be answering some of the questions that have been sent in. So I'm just going to go over a question that we usually would get at our open days, and that is, how do our class structures work? Now, the one thing that we also pride ourselves on at CAD4ALL is that our classes are very small and intimate. So our classes are usually between about 20 and 30 students in the class. That means that the students get individual attention from the lecturer. At CAD4ALL, you are not just a number sitting on a seat. You are known by name. and you get one-on-one with your lecturer, because it's very, very important for that one-on-one time where you can actually get a crit session with your lecturer, where you are able to get feedback. So it's very, very good for you to be able to get that one-on-one time with your lecturer. Then our classes usually run in sessions, so there could be a morning session, there could be an afternoon session, depending on the qualification you are studying, depending on whether you have a theoretical class in one of the classrooms or whether you have studio time in one of the studios. So obviously when the year starts, you'll receive your class schedule. That all happens on our app. So if you've taken a look at some of our press releases or our blog or our website, you'll know that CAD4ALL also has our very own app. So apart from the learner management system where the online learning takes place, we also have an educational management system. So that means there's an online portal where all communication takes place, where your attendance takes place, and that is also linked to a mobile app which is available on your phone as well as your parents' phone. So whenever anything happens, you'll get a notification and your parents will also get a notification. Then also, I see that there's a question that just came in, so let me just quickly take in. So how long does it take to know if you have been accepted? Well, that all depends on your accept or your registration process. If you've submitted your documents and filled in all the correct information and you have paid your registration fee, then the registrations department will advise you as soon as possible whether you need to maybe consider a different qualification or whether you have been provisionally registered and you can move on to the enrollment process. Once the enrollment process starts, it all depends on how quickly you submit the terms and conditions form back to us, as well as pay your enrollment fee before we let you know whether you have been accepted or not. Now, just remember as well, this is a busy time. As I mentioned, our enrollment deadline is the end of October. So the registration department is very, very busy. So if you do wait a few days, just please be patient, guys. You can follow up, but remember we are dealing with many applications coming in, and we are still working from remote locations, so we aren't always all together. We do have ghost offices where we can work at together, but most of the time the registrations and admissions are working apart. So just give us a few minutes there when we deal with your applications. Then someone is asking about our accommodation. Now, if you check on our website, we do have our own student house available. So that is situated in River. So it's not too far from where our new campus is in Tyger Valley. It's about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on if you're obviously going to take public transport or if you're going to take, or if you have your own vehicle. There are different rooms available there. It is a communal space, so you'll be sharing with other students, but you have your own room. And then obviously the bathrooms, it's a very safe environment. It's set up for learners. It's set up to be a conducive environment so that you can study, your internet, all of those things. Obviously there is outside space and all of that. If you would like more information on the accommodation, please do email our admissions advisor, Benny van Heerden. He will be able to give you more information on that accommodation. His email address is available on our website. If you scroll down to the bottom of our website, you'll see there's a tab there where you can reach all of our contact details during the lockdown period while we are still working remotely. Then someone has asked if our classes are mainly in English. Our classes, the material that we teach is English. So obviously the material, your books or your textbooks that you receive are digital on your laptop. Those are all in English. But depending on your lecture and depending on the class, your class is going to be taught in English, but we are also all bilingual. So if you have any questions or if you're struggling to study or understand something in English, you are more than welcome to ask a lecturer to explain it to you in Afrikaans. So we switch around in the languages, but obviously because the learning material is in English, we teach primarily in English, but we are flexible with that regard. Then the type of software that is required for the courses with or what is included in your course fee is all of the software. So it's about 20,000 Rands worth of software that is included in your course fees. So once you've paid your course fees, or if you are enrolled and you're paying your tuition fees, your software is included in that. So for instance, in CAD1, you will receive Autodesk AutoCAD, you'll receive Google SketchUp. If you go on to CAD2, then you'll get AutoCAD, Revit, and Inventor. If you go to Architectural Technology, you'll get AutoCAD, you'll get Revit, you'll get Adobe Photoshop, you'll get rendering software. So each year has different software that you use, and once your orientation day, then you'll receive all of your software that you require for the year over there. Then someone's asking about laptop specs as well. So laptop specs, you can please email our admissions advisors. They will send you a form, but minimum an i5 with 4 to 8 gig RAM. And then obviously, if you can go higher, i7, it will last you longer, but minimum i5. Unfortunately, i3s are a bit too slow for the software. The software that we use, Autodesk software, is extremely powerful and takes a lot of memory and also computing space. So the i3s are a bit too slow for that software. It does still work, but it is extremely slow. So please, guys, i5 or higher. Obviously, if it is possible to get something higher, i7, it will last you longer, but i5 is also acceptable. And then, no, laptop is not included in registration. You have to have your own laptop. So as I mentioned, the laptop can last you throughout your studies. Please see your laptop as an investment. It's investing in your future. So your laptop will be able to carry you throughout your studies. And yeah, you're going to work on it every day. It's going to become your life partner while you are a student, because all of your work is going to take place on there, all of your learning material. So your textbooks will be digital. You'll receive them. You can load them on your laptop, and you'll be able to load all of the software on your laptop as well. So if there are no more questions, I don't see any more questions coming through here. But please, guys, if you have any more questions, feel free to send them through to us via email. You can email myself. You can email the admissions department. You can email the registration department. As I said, at the bottom of our website, there is a link to all of our contact details to reach us remotely. Please remember, as we are working remotely, there is a central number which you can phone, which will be diverted from the main switchboard at our offices. But as we are working remotely, we cannot transfer calls between our employees and between staff. So many times reception will take a message and they'll email the person you are trying to look for or trying to get hold of, and that person will contact you back as soon as possible. So yes, if there are no more questions, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. Obviously, we would have hoped to meet you guys in person. And then, yeah, next time we'll see you guys. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.